This is the book of 2 Timothy. We're going to the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4, and we'll read 3 through 4, all right? Bear with me. This is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4, and verses 3 through 4. For the time will come, and when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust, shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears, and they shall turn away the ear from the truth, and shall be turned unto fable. So with that, we give our praises, glory, honor, power be unto the Most High Yahweh, and we do so through His only begotten and beloved Son, Yahweh Shai. We say shalom to the camp, shalom to all the brothers out there. Right? Shalom to the so-called blacks, to the so-called Latino, to the so-called Native Indians scattered throughout the fucking of this earth. This is the brother Frankie coming at you with another lesson, right? As you can already see the title, right? The title of this lesson is spiritual deafness of our people. Our people, they're deaf, right? Spiritually, our people, they don't understand. They don't know what the Most High is saying. They don't understand. Alright, so we want to put out there for YouTube disclaimer. If you hear music in the background, YouTube disclaimer, the music is not our music. We just want to put out there. Alright, let's go right here. Let's go right here. So our people right now, they're blind. They don't know what's going on. Our people, they don't know. Right, let's go in the book of Isaiah. So for YouTube, as we already said, disclaimer, if you hear the music, it's not our music. You already know we do not order music and we are not playing the music. All right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 6 and verses 10. Right, let's go in the beginning of the prophecy of the prophet Isaiah. Let's go in the book of Isaiah, because the Bible is not for everybody to understand. You got to keep in mind, brothers and sisters, the Bible is not meant for everybody to understand. And it is not because you go worship the sun every Sunday, sun worship day, that you understand the Bible. The Most High, He did not make it that way. The Most High, He does not want everybody to understand the Bible. No, the Most High does not want everybody to understand the Bible. The Most High, He does not want everybody to understand the Bible. Right? You got to keep in mind. The Most High, He does not want everybody to understand the Bible. Right? If that was the case, the Most High will make it plain and simple, right? So that everybody will be able to comprehend. But that's not the case, right? So let's go right here in the book of Isaiah, chapter 6, and verses 9 through 10. We'll read 9 through 10, right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah. You already know, man. The wind of the north, right? The Most High is sending down. The wind of the north, which is nothing else than what? Winter is coming, right? Winter is in the corner. Right now, we're seeing the fall season, right? We'll be dealing with the last month, Lord willing, right? But guess what? Winter is in the corner, right? And we'll be dealing with what? The cold for 3 months. The Most High, He balances everything, right? You got the spring, which is the beginning of the year. You got what? Summer, right? That allow the farmer, right, to dry the crops and harvest the fruit, whatever they plant, right? You got to keep in mind. So let's go to Isaiah chapter 6. This is the book of Isaiah, right? This is the book of Isaiah chapter 6 and verses 9 through 10. And He said, go and tell these people. That's what the Most High said. That's what we're doing right now. Right? The Most High said, go and tell these people. The Most High didn't say to the Christian. The Most High didn't say to the whole world. No. The Most High said, go and tell these people. Which people? The Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian. Based on your father, all right? It's based on your father. Based on your father. It's not based on your mother, okay? Your mother does not determine your nationality. Your nationality is determined by what your father seed, the semen of the man, right? So you are what your father is. So whatsoever your father is, that's what you are, all right? Simple, simple, very simple. He said, hear ye. He said, go and tell these people, hear ye indeed. But understand now, our people, they go to church every Sunday worship day. He's like, what? It's earlier, right? I spoke to this young brother, right? He's a very young brother. I said, yo, did you celebrate Halloween yesterday? Then the brother said, yeah. I said, yeah, you can't celebrate Halloween. So the mom said, well, you know, we didn't do anything. It's just the costume. I said, no, man, he can't even use the costume. That's evil. That's wicked. You see what I'm saying? That's wicked. You see what I'm saying? That's evil. That's wicked, right? Right? So I cannot talk to the sister quick, man. I cannot talk to the sister. Right? I cannot talk to the sister quick with her son, right? Just to let them know, right? Just to warn them. All right? I say, listen, man, if Christ return, hey, you know what's going to happen, man? Hey, it be bad out here, buddy. You don't want that. All right? So I let them. So a lot of our people, right? Though they go to the church, right? Though they go to the church every Sunday worship day, they don't know what's going on. They don't know that's the Most High. Some of them, they do know, but they just don't care. A lot of our people, they don't care what the Most High say, because they don't love the Most High. You can see a lot of our people, they don't love the Most High. They have the Most High, even though they know very well. They came across a lot of brothers, right? They came across a lot of Israelite video, right? Where the brother letting them know you can't celebrate pagan Halloween day. You can't do that. You can't celebrate Christmas. You can't celebrate your birthday. Things like that. Guess what? They'll still go ahead and do it. They'll still go ahead and do it, because guess what? They do not care. That's what the system have taught our people. A lot of our people these days, they don't care. They'll do anything. You see what I'm saying? They'll do anything. Right? Let's read it. It says, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. So our people, they don't see, but they don't perceive. You see what I'm saying? Right? They don't perceive. You see what I'm saying? They don't perceive. Now you gotta understand the Bible, the Most High, He does not for sure want everybody to understand the Bible. That's not the will of the Most High. The Most High, He does not want everybody to understand. If that was the case, the Most High would have said it like that from the beginning. You gotta keep in mind, all right? Let's jump to verses 10, all right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 6 and verses 10. It says, make the heart of these people fat and make the ears heavy. So the Most High, He made our ear heavy, man, because you're rebellious. You don't believe in the Most High. You ain't got no time for the Most High, right? You don't have time for the Most High, right? You're rebellious, you proud, right? You cocky, you think that you this, you that, all these evil spirits that you're dealing with every day. So the Most High, He make the ear of our people were heavy, and shut the eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with the ear, and understand with the heart, and convert and be healed. So the Most High, He does not want some of our people to get healed. Why? Because He knows their mind. He knows they will not oppression. So you got to keep in mind, brother and sister, all right? We got to keep in mind that it's not everybody that will understand the Bible. Not everybody will understand the Bible. Not everybody. That was not the purpose of the Most High. Right? We got to keep that in mind. Let's get back right here. Jeremiah, same thing. Jeremiah 6 and 10. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 6 and verses 10. Jeremiah 6 and 10. Let's go. Jeremiah 6 and 10. Jeremiah chapter 6 and verses 10. Let's read it. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 6 and verses 10. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 6 and verses 10. And it read, to whom shall I speak and give warning, right? That they may hear. So that's the question the Most High is asking, okay? To whom shall I speak? To whom will the Most High speak? To whom will the Most High speak? To everybody? No, we got to take the example of who? Of Aaron, right? Moses and who? And the sister, right? And you know who I'm talking about, right? Miriam. I'm talking about Miriam. So you got to keep in mind that Aaron, he's older than Moses. But the Most High choose who? Moses. The Most High choose who He wants. If the Most High choose somebody, you shouldn't be mad about it. You can't get mad. You can't be my brother. You can't be my sister, because you are not the Most High. The Most High, He choose whosoever He wants. Right? The Most High choose. The Most High can choose a baby. It's all the will of the Most High. The Most High know why. Because you don't know why the Most High choose the baby. You don't know. Right? So you got to keep in mind. Right? It's not because we are in the truth, right, for maybe 100 years, you know, we're in the truth for 200 years. Then most of the time, a lot of our people, they think, well, you know, hey, the Most High is only speaking through me. No, you don't know that. You don't know, because why? We've seen, man, the Pharisee, They were looking down on who? On Hamashiach, man. The Pharisees, they were looking down on Hamashiach. Hamashiach being what? A young brother, a young prophet, right? That came from the Most High, his father, Yahweh. So they were being jealous, right? And they were playing what? The know-it-all, man. The Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the elder, they were playing that they know the whole Bible, they know the whole law. But guess what? They don't know. Right? They don't know. Because if they knew the Bible, they would not be operating, they would not hate Hamashiach. They would not hate the brother Christ. Why do you hate your brother in your heart? Because the Most High gave him more wisdom. Why would you hate your brother? Because the brother, the Most High is dealing with him more than, hey, bro, you just got to take a look within your own self. You got to examine your own self and see, maybe you do something wrong. Then you can make changes, you can make it better. Then the Most High will talk to you. You see what I'm saying? So you got to keep it on. You can't be mad, right? Don't have the spirit of the Pharisee and the Sadducee and the scribe. Don't do that. Because they were acting up as they know the whole Bible, they know the law, right? They supposedly say they know the law, right? But Hamashiach, he confounded them with the same law they claim to know. He confounded them, he caught them, he exposed them, right? He exposed them, right? He sliced them all day long, right? So let's read it. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 6 and verses 10. Jeremiah chapter 6 and verses 10. And it reads, to whom shall I speak? To whom will the Most High speak? Will the Most High speak to everybody? Will the Most High speak to the whole world? That's the question the Most High asking. To whom will the Most High speak? To whom? Right? He said, and give warning. To whom will the Most High give warning? Is it to the whole world? Right? Right? That they may hear, that they may have understanding. They may understand. Behold, the ear is uncircumcised. The ear of the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native now, our ear are uncircumcised. Why? Because we don't want to keep the commandment of the Most High. We don't want to follow that sort of Most High. We don't want to live by the word of the Most High. Because Hamashiach, what did he say? Man does not live by bread only. Right? Man does not live by bread only, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High Yahweh. Right? So the whole Bible is the word from the mouth of the Most High. So we got to live according to the Bible, the word of the Most High. All right? Let's really say the ear is uncircumcised and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach. Right? The word of the Lord is unto them a reproach. Right? The word of the Most High is unto them a reproach. You got to keep in mind, the word of the Most High is unto them a reproach. Right? When they see the word of the Most High, right? When they see the word of the Most High, right? It's like a reproach unto them. It's like a reproach. They don't want to be rebuked. They don't want to be rebuked, right? They don't want to be rebuked, corrected by the word. They don't want to be corrected by the word. They don't want that, right? Some of them, they already knew. They already knew that the word is about to expose them. So what do? They'll run away from the word of the Most High. Understand that you ain't doing no wrong to anybody. You're doing to your own self what harm. You're harming your own soul, your own spirit. Because the scripture tells you straight up, man. Right? Let's go. He said, they have no delight in it. They don't have delight in the word of the Most High. No, they don't love the word of the Most High. The word of the Most High, that's what we need to be ready, to be prepared at all times. But our people, they don't want that. They don't want that. Our people, they don't want the word of the Most High. They just want the food. They just want mostly the food. They don't want to listen to the Bible, do they? They don't want to listen to the Bible. Because they don't know God. If they know the power of God, they won't be doing what they're doing. Because it's worthy of death. What they're doing is worthy death. But the Most High, He's long-suffering. The Most High, He's long-suffering. He's long-suffering, the Most High. The Most High, Yahweh, He's long-suffering. He's so patient. The Most High is waiting. He said, they may repent. Who knows? The Most High said, maybe they may repent. But the Most High already know who will repent and who will not repent. Right? So you got to keep that in mind. So the Most High say they have no delight in it. They don't have delight in the word of the Most High. Our people, the so-called blacks, Latino and Native, they don't want to listen to the word of the Most High. Right? They only have delight in the food, the money, right? The basketball game, the soccer game, right? The NFL season, the basketball season. Ezekiel 12, 1 through 2. Ezekiel chapter 12. Let's go to it. Let's go in the book of Ezekiel. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 12, and verses 1 to 2. The word of the Lord also came unto me, saying, Son of man, thou dwellest in the midst of a rebellious house. So it's plain and simple. We're rebellious as a nation. Because keep in mind, the Most High gave unto us, unto our forefather. The Most High only gave unto our forefather, unto the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, laws, commandments, statutes, and judgment, which we rejected just to go with world Christianity, which we rejected just to celebrate one pagan Halloween, right? Just to celebrate pagan Christmas, pagan Thanksgiving, and the list goes on and on. The Most High, He gave us righteous laws, statutes, and judgment that if a man live by, they'll be able to prosper. They'll be able to do well. But our people, they will not. Our people, they will not. Because why? They're rebellious. So that's what we're reading right here in the book of Ezekiel 12, 1 through 2. The Most High said, we are a rebellious people, rebellious house. All right? He said, which have I to see? Most of our people, most of the so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian, they do have eyes to see, but they don't see anything. Our people blind. Because yesterday, a lot of them, they went and celebrate, guess what? Pagan Halloween, the day of the witches. And some of them, maybe the son got kidnapped. Some of them, the son got touched. Somebody maybe might have raped their daughter. Things like that happen. Why? Because why? Our people, they have eyes, but they don't see. Right? Our people, they have eyes, but they don't see. You see what I'm saying? Our people, they have eyes, but they don't see. They're blind. You got to keep in mind, our people, they're blind. Our people, they're blind. They don't know the Most High. As of right now, our people, they're blind. Right? Our people blind, okay? Our people, they're blind. So lucky I got a call coming in, right? I got to reject the call over and over, right? Our people, they're blind right now. They don't know what's going on, right? They're blind. The vast majority of our people, they're blind, right? That's why we read in the book of Ezekiel, right? He said, which have eye to see? They don't have eye to see. The eyes normally is to see, but our people, they're blind right now. Spiritually, they're blind. Spiritually, they're deaf. They don't know what's going on. They don't know the Most High because they don't keep the commandment. Because a lot of them, they see call themselves blacks. Some call themselves African American. Some call themselves Latino. Some call themselves Hispanic. Some call themselves Native, and the list goes on and on and on. Our people don't know. They're blind. Spiritually, they're blind. Spiritually, they're deaf. Spiritual deafness. Spiritual blindness. Right? Let's read it. He said, and see not. They have ears to hear and hear not. For they are a rebellious house. Because we're rebellious. If you're rebellious, the Most High blinds you. You're rebellious, the Most High blinds you. As long as you're rebelling against the Most High, He said, you know what? Ain't no big deal. I'm going to blind you. So that's why you don't understand the Bible. Because you lie and you deceiving yourself. You said the law done away with it. The law not done away with it, buddy. The law are still in full effect. Full effect. If you don't keep the commandment, you can't be saved. You can't. It's impossible for you to be saved. You got to keep the commandment. You got to do the best that you can to keep the commandment. Right? You got to come out of the world. Don't follow the way of the heathen. Right? Don't celebrate pagan folly day. Don't do it. Let's go right here. Right? Zechariah 7:11. Zechariah chapter 7 and verses 11. This is the book of Zechariah chapter 7 and verses 11. There it is, Zechariah 7:11. All right. This is the book of Zechariah chapter 7 and verses 11. But they refuse to hearken and pull away the shoulder. You see that? Our people, they pull away the shoulder. Our people, they pull away the shoulder. And pull away the shoulder. You see that? And stop the ear that they should not hear. You see that? They stop their ears so that they should not hear. They don't want to understand the Bible. Our people don't want to understand the Bible. Even though you try and help them out, give them understanding what the Most High said, they do not want to be taught. They don't want to hear what the Most High said. They just want to go about their weakness. That's the vast majority of our people, of the so-called blacks, so-called Latino, and so-called Native Indian. Vast majority, right? They just want to do their weakness. They don't care about what the Most High say, right? So you got to keep in mind, right? Nehemiah 9:29. Nehemiah 9:29. Let's go in the book of Nehemiah, chapter 9, and verses 29. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 9, and verse 29. And testifies against them that thou mayest bring them again unto thy law. The Most High wants to bring us again unto his law. The law of the Most High, the whole Bible. Not just the New Testament, like some of y'all believe, because you just want to worship your idols. You want to worship the sun, right? You want to worship Caesar Borgia. You want to worship the slave master. No. The Most High, he wants to bring us back unto what? Unto his law. Yet, they're dead proudly. Our people proud. They're very proud. The so-called Latino, so-called blacks, Native Indian, they're very proud. Once the Most High give them a job through Esau, guess what? They don't want to listen to the Most High. They're done. They don't want to hear the Most High. Why? Because they got the money coming to the bank account every week, or every day, or every 2 weeks, or every month. They don't want to know about the Most High, because the money is already overflowing. The money is flowing. Therefore, they don't want to inquire of the Most High. They don't want to know about the Most High. That's the spirit of our people. That's what they're doing. So-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian. That's what they do all day long. That's what they do all day long. So-called blacks, Latino, and Native Indian. That's what they do all day long, man. That's what they do all day long. Once the money, they start making the money, they don't want to know about the Most High. They don't want to know about the Most High. They don't want to know about the Most High. They don't want to know about the Most High, because they're already making the money. They're already making the money. Right? They're already making the money. Let's read it. Hold on. You see, that's the spirit. When you call them, because they already know that you're going to read the Bible to them. So they're always in a rush when they come to the Bible. But it's not good. Let's read it.
What's up, man?
Morning, brother.
How you doing?
Good see you, bro. How are you? Good.
All right. How about you?
Good.
A little cold, right?
Yeah, it's chilly, bro. Yeah. All right, let's read it. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 9, verse 29. Yet they dealt proudly. Right? The Most High said we dealt proudly with the Most High. Huh? We dealt proudly with the Most High. Yet they dealt proudly. Right? That's what they do. That's what they do. Right? That's what they do. Yet they did proudly. That's what they do. Yet they dealt proudly, and hearken not unto thy commandment, but sin against thy judgment, which if a man do, he shall live in them. If a man do, shall live by them. If a man do. But they don't want to keep the commandment. Do they want to keep the commandment of the Most High? They don't want to keep the commandment of the Most High. If a man do, right? If a man do, he shall live in them. So you got to do the commandment. You got to keep the commandment. Right? You got to do it. If you don't do it, you cannot be saved. There is no salvation unless you keep the commandment. So don't get it twisted. Right? If you don't keep the commandment, understand that you cannot be saved. You got to keep the commandment. You have to keep the commandment. Let's read it. He said, he shall live in them, and withdrew the shoulder and hardened their neck. What did they do? They hardened their neck. That's why you don't understand the Bible. That's why the Messiah is not dealing with you yet. You got to understand. For you to understand the Bible, you got to humble yourself. Humility, right? Humility. That's what the Messiah is looking for, mainly from our people. Don't be proud. You so-called blacks, you so-called Latino and Native, do not be proud. Don't be proud because you don't have nothing. You are not in the power of ruling. You ain't ruling anything. Right? He said, and will not hear. They will not hear the word of the Most High. They just want to do their own weakness. That's our people. Right? Let's go back right here. Let's go back. It's there in the book of Matthew chapter 13. Let's read Matthew chapter 13. Matthew chapter 13. Let's read it. This is the book of Matthew chapter 13. Bear with me. Matthew chapter 13. And we're going to read verses 9 through 16. Verses 9 through 16. This is the book of Matthew chapter 13. Verses 9 through 16. Let's read it. Matthew chapter 13. Verses 9 through 16. Right, let's read it. Matthew chapter 13, 9 through 16. Who had ear to hear, let him hear. That's what Mashiach said. Right? Everybody got ear on this earth. Everybody got ears. Most people, right? But Mashiach said, if you got ear, is he talking about literally your ear? No. If you have understanding. If you have understanding, you got to understand. You will understand. Because the Most High gave you understanding. All right? So, he really said, who had ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciple came and said unto him, why spakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. It's given only unto some people. It's not given to everybody to know the mystery of the Most High. It's not given to everybody. Understand that? Okay? Understanding the Bible is not for everybody. Understanding the Bible is not for everybody. Understanding the Bible is only for few people. Few people. A remnant. A tiny people. A tiny group. You got to understand. 1/3. All right? He said, because it is given unto you to know the mystery of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them it is not given. For whoso hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, even that he hath. Therefore spake I to them in parable, because they see not. They see, but they don't see our people. They read the Bible, some of them. They go to church every Sunday, but they don't understand the Bible. They don't know what the Most High says. They don't understand the Bible. They don't understand the Most High, because they see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand.
All right, man.
Yeah, bro.
Later, bro.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, bro. Say hi to your brother. Yeah. He said, in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. Which say, by hearing you shall hear, and shall not understand, and see you shall see, and shall not perceive. For these people, heart is wax gross, and the ears are dull of hearing, and the eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with the ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. So the Most High does not want you to understand. That's all, plain and simple. All right?